Oh, yes, indeedy, kiddies. Great to be with you all today on a Tuesday. Beautiful freaking day here in the Bay Area. Hope all of y'all are doing well today. My main man, Rags, checking in from very cold New Jersey, saying coming in hot from New Jersey. Naomi's out here today saying, let's do this. Hey, people are excited for the Tom Tolbert interview, and I am too. We talked to Tom yesterday afternoon after our regular show, and after Tom's debut show yesterday. Tom launched his brand new channel, his new show yesterday, The Tom Tolbert Show. In my mind, it was just great to talk to Tom, great to see Tom. And now this is a very special day, of course, Tony, because good afternoon, good morning, Creative Tony. Great to see you in your plaid robe. You're looking good. Now, I got robed up at the start.
Goodbye, Robey Tuesday. Come on.
Go on, give me a chorus. Can't give me blue balls. You got to keep coming. Come on.
Well, you're the better singer, dude. Sing
I'm
it.
not in any condition to sing right now. Trust me. You know what I mean? I'm really not.
That's all I wanted to say is I just wanted to say Robey Tuesday. That's all. Robey Tuesday.
Don Peralta checking in saying he has Brian Murphy robe envy. I feel you, Tony. I might now listen. This robe that I'm rocking right here, I got to say, it gets the job done. It's understated. I'll call it a midnight blue, Tony. Something midnight blue. And I got to say, it's I think we got like a terry cloth situation here, and it's very warm and it's very cozy. And I got to admit to you, I was standoffish with Creative Tony at the beginning of this whole thing. He's got, Paulie, I got this great concept. We're going to wear robes on Tuesday. I'm like, are we? And he goes, yeah, we're going to wear robes. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I guess so. Now it's catching on, dude. Now, now I'm starting to understand the genius of Creative Tony and the logic behind one of his great creative strokes of good fortune here. So, yeah, man, Tony, I actually feel a little bit more relaxed in my robe.
Dude, I love it. I love wearing the robe. It's made me wear my robe even more.
Right.
So it's just the robe is out. That's all I care about. So robe up, whatever you're going to do. And robe out. We have some people that I want to share before we get to Tom Tolbert.
Well, time out before you share anything, Tony. I got to do this because I'll forget if I don't get this out right now. It'll be gone forever. You just said robe up and robe out. So I immediately started thinking about new songs we could do for Robey Tuesday. Yes, the Rolling Stones. Goodbye, Robey Tuesday. Who's gonna hang a name on you? Great one. But what about this one? Late 90s, dude. I think it was. Is it Ludacris? It was a huge track. It was like one of those big club songs, like "Roll Out." Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Out. All right, so dude, that's a new track. Roll out, roll out. That's my new track for Tuesday. Roll out. How does it feel? How's it sound?
That sounds good, man.
That sounds good. I'm trying shit on the fly today, Tony. It's a Tuesday, and I feel like getting loose.
Paulie, on that note, I want us to rent some studio time, and actually, I want to record a Robey Tuesday song.
Well, I could do that here. I can give you I
want to go into a proper studio and plug in and go amplified and microphones and everything. And then I want to record Robey Tuesday. I want to record Murph and Mac Monday. I feel like
okay. Just into the Murph and Mac Monday. By the way, great to see KNBR Murph yesterday. And his robe was badass now.
Yeah,
it really was. He was coming at me with some exotic, kind of like a you know what, Tony? It was reminiscent of the kind of fabric Dante Whitner would have imported from Morocco. That kind of stuff. Like those rare fabrics that Dante goes shopping around the world. Murph's thing was plush. It was gangster. There was a hint of pimp to it. It just had all the right elements.
By the way,
Murphy,
I want to get then my marketing mind has now just been triggered because now I feel like we're onto something, Paulie. I feel like I want once Polymax Particles really crosses over the threshold and we're just
skyrockets to international stardom.
Skyrockets in flight, afternoon delight. Once that happens, Paulie.
Yeah.
I want to approach every single professional team. I feel like teams should have robes in their locker rooms to wear after games, after they get out of the shower.
That's actually an incredible idea. You shouldn't have announced it on the air because now someone's going to steal that. But that's a great idea, dude. Like a white bathrobe with the Golden State Warrior logo on the back.
Yes. And so when they do their post-game interviews, they're in the robes.
Oh, with the crest, bro, with a fucking crest. Dude, sorry about the F-bomb. But you know what I'm saying? I'm excited. Like with a nice crest and a team logo on the back, maybe Joe Lacob's face, Joe Lacob's Warriors. Like, I'm down. Dude, it reminds me of Rocky Balboa in the first Rocky when he's going into the ring and he's wearing his Shamrock Meats robe. Remember, he's got his robe?
Yes, exactly.
I think boxing is probably the only sport that actually incorporates the robes.
Yeah.
Like, You don't get into that ring if you ain't got a robe on, kid. You're going to make that from the locker room to the ring. You got to have your robe on.
Do you remember when Mike Tyson just said, you know what, screw the robe. I'm just going to tear a hole in the Gatorade towel.
Bro,
over my head.
Yeah, do I remember? Dude, of course. I mean, dude, Mike Tyson, you and I spent hours talking about Mike Tyson in the 90s, dozens and dozens of hours on the air when Mike was kind of losing his ass, too, talking about eating people's kids and stuff. I'm going to eat his children, all that stuff. Yeah. Tony, I'm going to eat his children.
I'm going to eat his children. Hey, hang on.
Oh, my God. I tell you what, you know what? I stand with Iron Mike. I really do. I'm fascinated with the guy, and I believe he's actually a good human being deep down in there.
Oh, definitely. Dude, he's a pot farmer now. He's a pot farmer now.
Pot farmer. Creative Tony. Oh, my God. By
the way, just because we talked about sound yesterday, I'm going to lay this on you today, Paulie, just because we talked about bringing new sound to the show. Stand by.
Guess what?
Okay, there it is. There's Christopher Walken.
Guess what?
Yeah, and here's the full one. Here's the full one.
Guess what? I got a fever.
Okay, so there you go. There's your Christopher Walken hit for the day.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Guess what? Because when you dropped guess what on me, it made me laugh my ass off.
Guess what?
Thank you, Chris Walken. Thank you, Creative Tony. Couple quick things. Housekeeping items, and then we're going to get into Tom Tolbert. Great discussion with Tom. So happy he's back. But I do have housekeeping stuff. First off, and most importantly, shout out Aerosmith Spaced. You got to get their second album, Get Your Wings, and look for that psychedelic track called Spaced. Okay.
Yes.
Because I spaced yesterday, bro. I spaced on doing the Longbridge spot on the way out the door. So a makeup spot for Neil Denardi and the good people of Longbridge Pizza. Tony, give me the Slice logo if you could in the corner. I need it. I demand it. Thank you so much.
We love those dudes. We love those people at Longbridge, man. Go for it.
And if you're new to the show, you see the menu or the website rather right in front of you. Go check their menu out. And their hours and all the information at longbridgepizza.com. They have the laid back vibe. They have the serious pizza. I can vouch for both. I vouch for both. Trey Anastasio band. You like them? The Rolling Stones. Ever heard of them? Jimi Hendrix. Have you ever heard of him? Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia band. These are some of the acts, Leonard Skinner, throw them in the mix. Tom Petty. These are some of the acts I heard while I was sitting on my fat A at Longbridge Pizza, stuffing my face, chicken parms and Nico pies. And it's a great vibe. That's why they call it the Vibe Tribe. Neil is into his vibes. Grateful Dead artifacts on the wall right alongside a lot of San Francisco Giants. He's a South City guy. Neil Tenardi, the guy who runs and owns the place.
Hey, there you go. You said South City, Paulie. I love it. Good job.
I made the turn. No, I'm trying to do the right thing, Tony, with your help, of course. Thank you. Because Tony's like my Bay Area guide when it comes to like, Tony, how do I approach this? Or how do I get to that neighborhood? Or what goes on in South City? Tony will tell me, Paulie, don't call it South San Francisco. You got to call it South City. Done. I can appreciate that kind of
Don't call it a comeback, Paulie. I've been here for years.
So rocking my peers and saying suckers and fears. I stand with James Todd Smith, too. Shout out LL Cool J.
Dude.
Ladies love Cool J.
By the way, one of your best songs ever maybe is I Need Dubs.
Bro, that was a good one.
I need dubs.
I'll lay down my jacket so Steph can walk over a puddle, dude.
So I can walk over a puddle.
Totally. So Steph can walk over a puddle, dude. All day. I need dubs. That was a great one. By the way, see, that one is brought to you courtesy of my very good friend, Creative Tony. That was his idea. And that's why, dude, our partnership has been so fruitful over the years. That was all you. You're like, Paulie, I got this idea. You know that Cool J track, I Need Love? I go, yeah. And he goes, we're going to do I Need Dubs. I'm like, home run. I could tell right away.
You laid into the vocal, though, dude. The way you laid into the vocal, man. It was great.
You got to commit. You got to fully commit. Tony, thank you, Longbridge Pizza. You guys are the freaking best. We'll be back. Yes.
I got a couple things about Longbridge I want to say real quick, too, is that
I understand.
Try the Sophia pie. That's the one I had most recently.
Yeah.
Vodka sauce, mozzarella, ricotta, hot and sweet peppers, dude, red onions, a little honey. That's the Sophia pie. Ask for the Sophia pie. They can do it in the square Detroit style or the thin crust. And also, dude, Neil is all about popping up around the Bay Area, around the peninsula. He's at Bear Bottle. Longbridge Pizza will be at Bear Bottle Brewing in Bernal Heights this Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. It's beer week, by the way, Paulie. Happy beer week. There's no beer in this mug, but happy beer. Tomorrow night, we're going to cheers beer week, just so you know. Are
we doing that again? We're going to have a couple drinks on our night flight, Tony? Is that how it goes?
Yes, I will. And I encourage you to join us. But 4 to 8 p.m. at Bear Bottle in Bernal Heights this Thursday.
Okay.
And, right in the middle of beer week. So get some pizza, get a beer, and go enjoy yourself.
Yeah, who ordered the double cheese and sausage right here, dude? And that's another pizza you could order anytime down at Long Bridge Pizza, 3rd Street, San Francisco, Dog Patch. Get over there and tell Neil we sent you. Tell him we said hello. Tony, other housekeeping items very quickly just before we get into Tom Tolbert. Now, last week, you and I, listen, when Tony and I get rolling on a riff, it's like a snowball effect because one riff leads to another and then another and another and another. And one thing we talked to Tom Tolbert about yesterday, because he's gone through this too, is like sometimes when you're on the air, you're talking about a few different things and something else will come up. You'll forget how to find your way back to your original point. Now,
find your way back.
Great track.
Sorry.
Great track. That's Jefferson Starship right out of San Francisco. Yep. Shout out Paul Cantner. Shout out Marty Balin.
Dude, Paulie, I'm going to get back to your point in a second, dude, but the Grace Slick footage in the Sly Stone documentary with Sly and Grace,
yeah.
Incredible stuff, man.
No, Grace Slick, you can't. She was the queen of the scene, man. All the boys were in love with Grace Slick in the late 60s, early 70s.
Totally.
Understandably, she was like the hippie queen, man, and really and legitimately the hippie queen. Those Jefferson Airplane boys, man, they were serious about their hippiness. And they had that they called it the Jefferson Airplane Mansion, Tony, on Fulton Street, up near Alamo Square Park. What a beautiful corner of the city that is.
Yeah, you're so right, man. That's a great part of the city.
Don't flip on Alamo Square. You got Postcard Row over there with the Victorians. It's insane. It looks like you walked into some like movie set.
By the way, SQR3 says, don't forget Baby Come Back. By
Player.
Good
Baby,
job.
come back. Yeah. Tasty licks flying.
Dude.
You can blame it all on me. I was wrong. All right, Tony, listen to me. Listen to me.
Can't live without you.
So, in one of the high-flying, fast-paced riffs last week, I don't even know how this came up, but I recall you and I were talking about that kid from the 80s named Gerardo, who had that one-hit wonder, you know,
Rico.
When Rico, suave. Dude, I told you I had the record in my house, and today I'm going to prove it, so I pulled it off the shelf just for all of y'all on a show and tell Tuesday. Look at that. That's my guy. I'm
getting Jose Canseco vibes off of him right now.
Check out the mean mug on Gerardo, dude.
That's what I mean.
By the way, is Gerardo on Twitter? Is he out? We should get him on the show. We should talk to Gerardo.
Amazing. That's amazing.
And by the way, Creative Tony, I like to throw this out there when appropriate. Gerardo, I've seen him. I saw him live. I did. I saw him in Boston.
Who did he open up for again?
No, it wasn't that he opened. It was the same. It was the same bill as CNC Music Factory. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It was like a pop. It was like a station show with a lot of pop acts from the early 90s. But anyway, there he is. I just wanted to prove Gerardo lives in my house, kids. There he is.
That sounds like a bill that Gloria Estefan would have been part of in the Miami Sound Machine.
I gotta be honest. Dude.
Any sightings of Gloria Estefan at the CNC Music Factory Gerardo show?
She wasn't there. Can I give you, are you interested in a shirtless picture of Gerardo? Stand by.
Am I interested? Yes.
All right, hold on.
Come on.
There's more photos in this thing than there is music. Here's another shot of Gerardo looking very serious about his his art. Yeah, very serious. And then I got one more. Yeah, this is the one. No, this is the one I've been saving for best for last, Tony. There he is. Nah, let him pose. Let him pose.
And when, I got to give Sanchi some love here on the comment line. When they make a Gerardo biopic, Antonio Banderas should probably play him. Antonio Banderas.
You're a little too old, though? You need a young kid, don't you?
I'd watch a biopic. Oh, by the way, a little recommendation, a little midweek particle pick of the week. By the way, we do those on Friday, but I just want to get this out to people.
Go ahead, Tony.
On Netflix, I just started the miniseries Court of Gold about the USA Hoops team, dude. Check it out.
You're talking about the Olympic Games in Paris? Yeah, I saw it on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah,
get in, everybody, get in. I'm an episode and a half in.
Okay,
and it's really, really good. And the Steve Kerr footage of him coaching these guys,
nice,
trying to get all these egos together in one room, dude. I highly, highly recommend it, man. Seriously, Court of Gold on Netflix. I'm gonna dive back in tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
A midweek particle pick from Creative Tony. Thank you for that very much.
Hey, right, hold on, Paulie. Hold on, Paulie. If we're gonna do midweek particle pick, then stand by.
Yeah. The rules are there ain't no rules.
I don't know what I like more in that cut. I don't know if I like Crater Face dropping the actual statement or the engine because it sounds like a lawnmower. Give it to me again.
The rules are there ain't no rules.
Well, that doesn't sound like one of those lawnmowers you got to pull.
Yeah. You got to crank it. I grew up using one of those.
Dude, Rags and I used to landscape for a living, dude. It was our summer job. Remember I told you I landscaped the Fagan's house to your guy in Steely Dan?
Time out. If I see you and Rags coming to do my lawn, I don't know if I'm opening the door, dude.
Here, let me tell you something about Rags the landscaper. True story coming up. It's a true story. Rags, back me up on this. I know you this is an unforgettable tale. A strange but true tale of Rags and Smack landscaping. The name of the company, it was handed down to us from other kids that had gone to our high school. So it started with this kid, Eric Christensen. And then, and these were like the older brothers of guys that we hung out with. They were like gods, dude. They were like 5 years old. Whoa, Eric Christensen. Whoa. And his buddy, I think his buddy's name was Rags. Is it Dave Catlett? Dave Catlett. So based on Christensen and Catlett, the name of the company was CNC Landscaping.
Oh, so, after CNC Music Factory. I like that. Nice.
Well, it's actually, they stole it from us. Together. We were there first. They stole that shit from us. We did it first.
You guys have gear? Did you have gear?
No, we should have, though. We should have. We should have had gear. So, Tony, we when those guys graduated and moved on to college and stuff, they gave the business to us. And they said, hey, here are the customers. Just go do the routes and landscape your ass off. Go crazy. I said, okay, done. Hard work though, Tony, in hot, humid summer heat in New Jersey in August. It's no picnic. So we're doing this house one day, and Rags goes, we're looking at the backyard, and I go, Rags, I think that's all poison ivy over there. Don't touch that. And Rags goes, no, don't even worry about it. Listen to what this guy does. Out of his mind, he goes, there he is. Look at Rags. We would take our $40 and then go spend it on beer. 100% true, Rags. You're right. Yep. So Rags sees all this poison ivy, and he says, we got to clear this out. And I said, well, I'm not going in there. So Rags goes, don't even worry about it. I got it. Rags goes walking into a field of poison ivy. Listen to this, Tony. I'm not making this up. He starts pulling stalks of poison ivy out with his bare hands. Ooh. And I know he's insane. This is Rags now. I'm giving you a real-time Rags story. Dude. He's pulling out stalks. And he goes like this. I go, Rags, you're nuts, bro. Well, you shouldn't be doing that. And he goes, no, I got this. This is what he said. He goes, I have a special soap. I'm going to scrub. True story. I'm going to scrub up after we're done, and I'll be fine. Dude, fast forward about 10 hours later. Yeah. The kid, head to toe.
Yeah.
Head to freaking toe.
That's the worst, man. Poison oak and poison ivy are Mother Nature's like reminder not to mess around.
When I say head to toe, I'm talking about like the private regions as well now. Ooh. Downstairs. Ooh. Yeah.
It must have been some swelling involved. There must have been some swelling.
Bro, he looked like the Michelin Man. He was all ballooned out and red and bumped up and everything. He looked crazy. But again, it was self-inflicted. Rags, you're nuts, bro. And I saw you did. Look at this. I got ivy everywhere. The brown soap did nothing. Of course it did nothing, Rags.
Winks. Yeah. My bag.
No, his bag. No, it was on his bag. Hey. Say one last Rag story, one last one, and then we gotta move on because we got shit to do today. Another time we were landscaping Rags. It was over there by Birchwood. I forget whose house it was. And we're up on the dude. We're a bunch of hooligans now. We had the tune box with blasting Van Halen. Rags is up on the roof cleaning out the gutters. Yep. And I think he poked was it a beehive, Rex? Did you like poke a beehive? Suddenly he's cleaning out the gutters. Bam, now there's a billion bees coming at him. So Rags literally jumped off the roof of this house. Dude, he just jumped off the roof. I'm not kidding. And he came out of that one scot-free. Thank God.
That reminds me of Tommy Boy when he pretends there's bees in the car and
yeah.
They're everywhere.
That's a good call. Okay.
Hey, public service announcement.
I know. Sorry, there's so much going on.
I have a few things, but for those that do get poison oak or poison ivy, go to your local pharmacy, especially if you can go to a family-owned pharmacy, because my family owns a pharmacy on Mission Street in San Francisco.
Right.
If you can go to a family-owned pharmacy, is even better. Get Sarna. Sarna. Sarna is the lotion that will dry up your poison oak and poison ivy. And
put the lotion in the basket. Put the lotion in the basket. Hey, Creative Tony, you said a minute ago before I took this thing off the tracks, and I have one other housekeeping item I have to get to, but before I do that, and then we get to Tom Tolbert. You were saying to me, and I interrupted you, my bad, I'm sorry, but you said, hey, Paulie, they've been sending stuff in for Robey Tuesday. I want to get back to that real quick. So what do you got for me, Tony, before I delve into my next housekeeping
I'm going to have to share this, Paulie, on our screen. If you don't mind, I'm going to share this.
You go ahead.
Let's see here. Yes, this is A Mount Roadmore photo. This is from, look at this, if you can see this.
Oh, that's the Rush guys. Yeah, that's 2112. I told you.
Yes, and
Dude,
look at the robes. Look,
no, they're
look. I mean, look at the greatness.
no, they're
Look
more
at
like
the
kimonos.
greatness.
Keep it right there.
Oh,
Keep it right there.
yeah.
Go back down to the waist with that
Okay.
freaking
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Tony, Halloween costume for me, you, and Rags right there. We're the three guys in Rush. We're wearing
Beautiful.
robes.
Beautiful.
Okay, that's one.
Look at
Number
the
two,
stash, by the way. God,
look at
incredible.
Look at Lifeson. Look at Alex Lifeson. He's trying to figure out. I don't know. Like,
Lifeson looks like he might be in pain down below. By the way,
I would think so. He's
tight fit.
He's got camel. You guys got camel toe. You know what I mean?
Snug fit. That's so.
Alex
I want to
Lifeson.
say. Hey, that's from Sanchez. That's from Sanchi.
Hey,
Sanchi,
thank you.
Thanks for the email, dude.
Check
And
this
then,
out. Well, before
yeah.
you go anywhere, those robes that they're wearing, they bought. I've heard them say this in interviews. Actually, no, it was in their documentary, which I do recommend. Beyond the Lighted Stage. Check it out on Netflix. Great documentary about Rush.
Yes, agreed.
Dude, they were playing the Winterland in San Francisco in the 70s, which is right up the street from Japantown. If you're not familiar with San Francisco, you don't live here.
Yeah.
And they went out and they bought the kimonos in Japantown. So all those robes they're wearing, those were bought in San Francisco. Isn't that wild?
Nice. That's
True story.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's
true story.
incredible. Oh, look at this, dude. Look at Sanchi. Come on, Sanchi. Thanks for the super. Sanchi.
Thank you, Sanchi. No, you're the man, brother. You're the man.
Thanks for the email. Thanks for the super. And just for those new to the show, if you want to be a super, you can click the icon in the upper right hand corner and you can donate to the show and you'll get your comment thrown to the top. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Also, more housekeeping, Paulie. If you just want the audio versions of our show, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeart. Just at Polymax Particles. Also on YouTube at Polymax Particles. Get any of the old shows. We post shorts. We're very excited to launch our discussion with Tom Tolbert. Paulie breaks my balls multiple times. Tom gets into Jimmy Butler. He gets into the Dubs. He gets into WCC St. Mary's Gales hoops. He talks Tool. He talks Kiss Army. It's all coming in the next few minutes. It's it's freaking great.
Oh, look at you! I got it. Yeah, let's have a fun.
I know.
Like it. No, it's gonna happen. I've been doing it a lot lately. Get loose. Hey, anyway, shout out to the boys in Rush. Great robe. Any other robe mentions we need to get to? Or
yeah. There's one more. Stand
okay,
by.
All right,
let me
get
just
to
set
that.
it up here.
And then I got one more thing too.
And this is from our guy David up in Humboldt, dude. Okay, he says,
"Oh, he's back. Is this my guy? 420. Okay, good.
I'm gonna get the picture up in a second, but he says Murph's right. It's like being hugged by a grizzly bear. So because remember, Murph put on his robe yesterday. And he said it's like being hugged by a grizzly bear.
Hey, yeah, I do.
So here we go.
All right,
and where is you seeing that?
Oh, dude, look at my guy.
Yeah,
look at that. Let me tell you something about this cat right here. This is Dave up in Humboldt.
Yeah.
Is you go by Dave or David?
David. Okay,
yeah.
So look at this though. I got to get the full body shot. Come on.
You got the cactus over there on the right. I mean,
he said, my name is David or Humboldt Fats. That's what he's calling himself. And he said,
it's like a great bluesman out of the Delta or Chicago. They had names like that, dude. David Fats. Hey, listen, brother, you are like the founding father of Robey Tuesday. You really are. He will be the face of Robey Tuesday going forward. And how could he not be? Look at the guy. He's fantastic.
It's incredible.
Bravo, David. You got my respect down here in San Rafael. Okay, one more thing, and then on to Tom Tolbert. So, looking ahead real quick to tomorrow night's show, we're going to do another night flight. And I got to start pumping this up, dude. My buddy, my good friend, Jimmy Dillon, great guitar player. He's playing at Sweetwater on Friday night. And Jimmy Dillon, let me just tell you a little bit something about Jimmy Dillon if you don't know the name. This is my buddy. I have played with him in the past, but I haven't jammed with him in a few years. But about 10, 15 years ago, I used to play with him a lot. And I did a couple shows with him at Sweetwater. And I did a show with him at the, what's the name of that theater in Mill Valley? I'm forgetting. There's a theater in Mill Valley. I played with him as well. In any case, listen, Jimmy Dillon, guitar player extraordinaire. Tony, his probably most notable gig that he had was that he was the guitar player in Clarence Clemens' solo band.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So he played and toured with Clarence Clemens many times. He played and recorded with Clarence. So if you go to Spotify, you look up Clarence Clemens solo stuff. That's Jimmy Dillon. You'll hear his guitar work on that stuff. He played with
Paulie, by the way, Andrew from Longbridge Pizza chiming in Throckmorton Theater.
That's it. Thank you, Andrew. 100%. So years ago, Jimmy Dillon organized, it was like a benefit show, but it was a night of Bruce Springsteen music. And he Sorry, he reached out to me and he was like, Paulie, you got to come sing a bunch of Bruce tunes. I was like, done. Great guy, great guitar player, great guy. He's played with Bob Dylan as well. So he's doing a gig at Sweetwater on Friday, and I'll be sitting in for a couple of songs. And check out what I found out last night. One of the other guitar players at this gig on Friday is going to be Mark Karen. If you don't know the name Mark Karen, he played with Rat Dog. He played in the other ones. He's a great guitar player. I've never played with him, but now I'm getting nervous. You know what I mean? Tony, they bring out the heavy talent, and then I come walking out. I'm like,
oh, that's great,
It's so bad, though, because I am surrounded by world-class players, and I'm up there just being a complete jackass. But I will tell you this. When guys like that invite me to play, I'm always going to say yes. Because playing with musicians of that caliber is a real treat for me. So anyway, if you're around Friday night, stop by Sweetwater in Mill Valley. We're going to have a great time. I'll be up there jamming a couple of tunes. I know I'm doing a Beatles song. And then last night he asked me to sit in for I Know You Rider as well. One of my favorite Grateful Dead songs. So we'll do a couple songs. And again, Mark Karen, bro, from the Rat Dog and the other ones. This is going to be
Is there a China Cat before the Rider, or is it just
that listen, I can't reveal all the stage secrets, Tony. I can only give you a taste. Only a little taste to whet your appetite.
Fair enough. Yes. By the way, I'm really excited for Dubs Hornets tonight, too.
Me too.
Speaking of that, if you go to the Dubs game tonight, check out Longbridge Pizza before or after the game. It's on the way to Chase Center. It's right there, like 4 blocks south. So 2347 3rd Street, like 4 blocks south of Chase Center. FYI.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the game tonight, too. And I'm happy. I'm happy on a personal level that I am now once again looking forward to Dubs games with great anticipation. Like, I'm psyched. I'm psyched to watch the game tonight. And I got to be honest, the first half of the season, I didn't always feel that way. Because I was tuning. Yeah, I'm just being honest. I was tuning in. I was not happy with what I was seeing. A lot of underwhelming performances. But suddenly, this Jimmy Butler thing, dude, it's starting to. I'm telling you, the fuse is getting lit again, dude. People are getting excited again,
dude. And listening, and you're going to hear it here in a few minutes, everybody. Listening to Tolbert break down, like Jimmy Butler's contributions, not just what he's doing in front of our eyes, but what he's doing, like anticipatory. You'll just the way he breaks it down can be broken down by somebody who is that deep into the game himself.
That's why, like, when we talked to Murph yesterday, and it's like, for somebody like me, talking to Tom Tolbert about basketball is a treat, because this is a guy, like, I can have all the ideas and theories I want. Hey, look at that play. This guy sucks. That guy's great. This is a guy who used to cover Magic Johnson, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? This is a guy that had to deal with Michael Jordan on the floor. Like, Tom knows what the hell he's talking about. So on that note, Tony,
dude, that's why that show, sorry to cut you off, Paulie, but that show, Court of Gold, the footage of the Dream Team, I mean, is phenomenal. And I just check it out, because it just was a reminder. And I was watching it with my kids, and they were like, wait, Charles Barkley's so skinny, you know, or they were like, and then they were just, baffled by the greatness of Jordan. And then it goes in, it's really check out Court of Gold.
Did your kids, I'm just curious about this, did they recognize Chris Mullin on the Dream Team as the guy who now does the Warrior games, the pre and post and all that?
Yeah, well, the last Warrior game I went to with my son, he met Chris Mullin, and that's when Chris Mullin was like, "Yo, little man, get over here. You play hoops? You play hoops? Tell me, what grade you in, little man?"
He says, little man. How great is Chris Mullin with kids? Like, Chris Mullin
he took Dom onto his, almost like onto his lap. It was crazy. Nice. It was the greatest experience, and it was a total random run-in. Like, we ran into Bonte Hill, and we're gonna get Bonte on the show.
We love Bonte. No, Bonte, we're totally down. Bonte used to work on the Murph and Mac show years ago. He did some producing for us, so we go way back with Bonte. I love Bonte. And
I remember when I first met Bonte, I was like, dude, you got great pipes, man. I gotta get you in my studio and have you do some voiceover work with me.
He's got it all going. Yeah.
And so Bonte and I have remained good buds ever since. And so I ran into Bonte, and then he was sitting with Mullin and Festus. Oh, and by the way, it was Festus who went to dinner with Clay and Draymond at Draymond's new restaurant. I couldn't remember that yesterday. It was Festus and Zealy.
Yeah, Festus is good people. Great guy.
Dude, Festus was great to my son also. But Bonte was watching the game with Chris Mullin and Festus, like in one of those little side club rooms or whatever, and we happened to see them. And so, anyways, Mullen. So my son recognized Mullen, and Mullen's footage. Just check out Court of Gold. That's my whole point. Is just check out Court of Gold.
By the way, how about this? We have our good one of our correspondents, Leah Phillips, now confirming that Bonte will be coming on our show soon.
Nice.
Thanks for and by the way, here's another thing, dude.
Yeah.
I said this, I think, on day one when I saw Leah on the comments line. Leah, I am going to reach out to you at some point. I do want to bring you on the show because I would like to have like a kind of female sports correspondent, and I know Leah can handle that since she's here every day anyway. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we get Leah involved in the show? Leah, I'm going to come knocking on your door at some point before baseball starts because I think that might be the way to kind of bring her into the show, let her do some baseball reports and stuff like that.
Let's also get Leah involved because she's a snow queen and she snowboards and she can give us reports from the mountaintop too. So
she's a snow queen. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, because she's a queen of the mountains. She crushes the mountains. I've seen her snowboard. She crushed, and I'm a snowboarder too. You know, and so
listen.
We are always frowned upon by the skiing community, so us snowboarders have to stick together. My kids even talk trash to me because they're skiers. So
snowboarding is not a crime, Tony, as I like to say on the streets.
The streets, and I got to give the super some love here.
Mitch Comstein. Okay, yeah, Comstein, I got you, buddy. I've seen. And by the way, look at this Chevy Chase. This Chevy Chase photo he's got there.
Oh, it's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, brother. That goes right into the soundboard fund. Trust me. All right, so Tony.
Thank you, Mitch.
Why don't we do this? I think we're going to say goodbye now because we're going to throw it to the Tom Tolbert interview, and after that, the show will be over. So we're going to say thanks for listening today, Dub City. I almost said it myself. Snowblind by Black Sabbath, 1,000,000%. I was this close to saying it when Tony said she's a snow queen. I said, well, that's good because I'm snowblind. Shout out Volume 4, my favorite Sabbath album.
Incredible song, by the way.
What you get and what you see.
You want to talk about a heavy riff, dude. I mean,
don't you think I know what I'm doing? Yeah, Sabbath for life. Tony.
Oh, no! Hold on. And then no, please God help me.
Come on. Come on. Somebody get me a lighter and some freaking that fires me up. All right, Tony.
Well, let's dismiss everybody because we're going to go to our taped interview from yesterday with Tolbert.
Be my guest.
And by the way, people, I hope you don't, Paulie, it was fun. It was a really fun conversation with Tom that was supposed to go about 20 minutes, but I think
oh my God. Tony held him hot. He hijacked his ass. He would not let Tom get away. I'm like, thanks for coming on today, Tom. And then Tony's like, oh, wait, Tom, one more question. Did it like 5 times. You'll see.
I just love Tom, man. He's just such a great dude. And I love, we've worked together so long together. I'm so happy for him that he's back on the airwaves.
Me too.
And there's going to be such great stuff to come from him. And it's just, we're going to do a lot of collaboration down the road too. It's just really fun. So very excited, but I can dismiss the class, Paul, if you'd like.
Big hitter, the llama. I got you, Mitch. I'm right there with you. Big hitter. Yeah, dismiss the class, Tony. Thank you. Class dismissed. Yeah. Thank you, son. Thank you, Sonny boy. Sounding killer over there. All right, so without further ado, Tony, you can throw it. Set it up and throw it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to set it up. Also, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., will be our night flight. Thursday, we'll be back on at 11.
And Jimmy Dillon, guitar player I was just talking about, he will join us tomorrow night, and we'll talk about the gig on Friday at Sweetwater. I hope to see you there. You guys come on by. Goonga Galunga, 100%, Regs.
Goonga Galunga.
Yeah.
We're also we're working on USF head coach Todd Gurlison before they face off against Gonzaga on Saturday night. And we're also working on another NBA guest that Paulie will reveal later on in the week if we can. If we can get her scheduled.
Ooh, look at you.
That's my hint.
That's my hint. But no, I dig
little breadcrumbs. Just dropping breadcrumbs, Paulie.
Final word. And Naomi, thanks for coming. Hey, look at Jeremiah Crow. Look at you, JC. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
JC.
JC's in the house. That's my guy, JC, checking in from Vegas. Hey, one more thing on the way out the door, Tony, on a Robey Tuesday. I want to just drop a Goonga Galunga on all of y'all. And until tomorrow night with Jimmy Dillon, Creative Tony, take it away.
Here we go. So this is the first time we've done this PMP Army. We're playing a pre-recorded interview from yesterday, so bear with us, but we're going to roll the tape right here. This is Paulie, myself, and Tom Tolbert from yesterday, and enjoy the conversation. See you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for the night flight.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Polymax Particles. We are very happy today to bring in one of our favorite guys. We're so happy he is back on the Bay Area airwaves, so to speak. technically speaking, I'm not sure if these would be considered airwaves, but let's just say in the broadcasting realm, he's our good friend, Tom Tolbert. He is back on the mic.
Yeah, Tommy.
He launched his brand new show on YouTube. We're neighbors in the YouTube community now, Tom. And dude, I got to tell you, it's great to see you. It was great to hear you today. And welcome back to the mic, bro. How's everything been going, Tom?
Good. I've just noticed too. We all, I don't know, we didn't set it up. We all have Niner helmets.
True story.
Oh, that's true.
I got the old one.
I got retro.
Like the John Brody one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Mine's way in the back. You can barely see it. It's right next to the Michael Myers mask.
Yeah.
Badass. Sitting up there. And then Tony's got his right there, along with a football that obviously wasn't earned, that was given to him by somebody with the Niners. It says Ryan on it.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
That's 100%. Right. That was when they gave us the tour of the stadium way back before the stadium opened. They gave us footballs with our names on them. It was pretty funny. And that thing was lying around the house. I'm like, I can put this thing to some use. And Paulie, I think you have one in the background too.
I do. Yeah, no, that was definitely same day, same tour, same
there
day.
It is.
Same football. Yeah, it's behind me on that side. Yeah, I got the McCaffrey ball. Yeah, I know. Was Tom there that day? Where was Tom? Maybe
he might have been on the air. He might have been on the air.
Yeah, you
might
probably
have been doing
were.
Your show.
Yeah, this is like when they first opened Levi's Stadium. I remember Sarge set up a tour where I was down there with Murph. And what I remember, Tony, is we ended the morning show and basically got in our cars and drove right down there. So it started right after the show. And probably that's why, Tom, you probably had to stay back to do your show. But that was the end result of the day. We all got our own personalized footballs. You know what I mean?
Well, except for me.
Yeah, that was the token.
Tom, is it too hokey? Did you do a what's shaking? Or can we ask you for a what's shaking? Or come on.
I think I did. Didn't I do a what's shaking? I think I did a what's shaking. I think I did that start show. I'm not sure. That's a great question. I don't even remember what the hell I did. I was just concerned with okay, how am I gonna do I have enough to talk about for an hour? And it ended up being an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. The one thing that I do that not a lot of people do, and I'm not even sure if it's a good thing or not, is I digress a lot.
Yeah.
I start on a topic and then I end over here, and I have to figure out a way back to where I was starting to finish the story that I was trying to tell. So I take a lot of detours, and that happened today a number of times. So it ended up, there's some things that I'll go back and I'll look at and go, I wish I would have hit that, wish I would have hit that, wish I would have hit that. But yeah, it was just fun to get on, and you're not really conversing with people yet because we don't have the chat set up, and at some point we will. So you feel like you're just sitting here, it's like a hostage video, and you're just sitting here. You got a camera on you and lights are on you, right? And you just got to say, look, look, I'm serious. Iran's number one. I'm not. They're not paying me to say this. I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's weird to do it when you're just sitting here by yourself. But no, it's fun, and we'll get more and more used to it and get a rhythm to it. You guys have already started, so I'm sure you kind of understand. Okay, this feels a little bit different now than it did the first couple of shows. But it was fun though. I did have a good time.
Tom, I think one of your first digressions was serial killers, and that your generation had the best serial killers. And I was like, dude.
Okay. Look, there's not even a question like that. No one can ever debate that my generation. I don't even know if that's quite my generation. I was a little young. I was 7 and 17, but no one can debate. That is the best. That's the golden era of serial killers.
Yes, dude, the Night Stalker, man. The Night Stalker got me.
You got Bundy,
you got Night Stalker. You got Gacy.
Yeah.
You got Dahmer. You have the Hillside Stranglers. You have the Boston Strangler.
Yep.
I mean, you have the Zodiac Killer.
Son of Sam. Don't forget Son of Sam.
Son of Sam. I mean, you have, like I said, you just got Hall of Famers hand over fist. I mean, if they had an arena for serial killers, there'd be banners up all over the place. But you can't do it anymore. Too many cell phones.
That's a great call. Well, we have the same problem, Tom. What happens is we digress. Usually it's about some concert or some movie or something, and then sometimes I have a hard time finding my way back to the original point. So thank God I have Tony here to keep the wheels on to remind me. Paulie, we were talking about the Giants or whatever the case might be, because I do the same thing, Tom. And for your new show, your new endeavor, tell the audience, like, what's the schedule for your new show? Are you at noon every day now?
That's a great question. I think it'll be noon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I think Monday is going to end up moving back probably to about 3:30 because I've been playing golf with a buddy of mine. I'm trying to play on Mondays. We play Mondays around 10:30.
Nice.
So we may do a 4:00 Monday, which will work better because then I'd be happy hour. People can grab a beer.
Yeah.
Look, not that I'm saying, look, if you want a day drink, go ahead and knock yourself out. I'll be there right. I'll be right with you. But noon seemed a little aggressive, except for a Friday. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be here every noon cracking a beer open and be like, oh my God, somebody get an intervention going for Tolbert. He's wearing himself out over there. But I'm thinking a little later on Mondays, noon on Wednesday, noon on Friday. But again, that's the beauty of this thing. We can switch it up. We can move it. If we got something going on, then we can move it to a little sooner. We can move it to a little later. But like I would say, everything is TBA right now.
Yeah.
Or tentative. Like everything's kind of where we think it's going to be, but we're not sure where it's going to end up in a month.
That's totally reasonable, man. We basically did the same kind of approach, right, Tony? Like we wanted to figure out what was good for us, what was good for the audience, and you'll settle in. You'll feel and find what's right. And as you mentioned, Tom, you know what's really cool? Once you get the comments kind of aspect of your show happening, it starts to feel like a real show again, because you'll see all the listeners there. They all start having their own conversations independent of what we're talking about, and it starts to feel like a kind of an interactive show at that point. So you'll dig that a lot. And so Tom, I heard you today, just a couple quick sports things while we have you. I heard you today talking about the Four Nations face-off, the USA Canada stuff. How great was that? How great it was for hockey, all these new eyes on the sport. So what I want to ask you, man, is all this talk last week about how the NHL really maximized that opportunity. They said, look, we got an all-star break. Let's get as many eyes on this with the best competition we can have. And those guys were playing, dude. They were selling out. They were getting after it. Like you said, Canada's not kidding around when it comes to hockey. That's their sport. They hate losing to America and vice versa. So they were going to get after it. But the NBA All-Star game is under fire, man. People are sick of it. They don't like the lack of competition. They're not fond of the whole format. So, Tom, I guess I'd like you to speak to the NBA All-Star game, where it is now, and should they take a page out of the NHL's book and try to come up with some kind of new format in your mind?
Well, the problem is, how do you do it? Do you do USA versus the world? Because then if it's USA versus the world, why does the world care? I mean, you're not playing for your country. You're playing for the rest of the world or whatever it may be. So you may get Joker and Giannis on a team and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander on a team. And you get some great players, but they don't have their country across their chest. USA would, but I just don't know that there's a way to replicate the Four Nations face-off, because you have enough players that are in the NHL that play in this tournament. Like if we're going to do the NBA version and we're going to use guys that aren't in the NBA, then now we're in the Olympics. Like that's what the Olympic does. So we don't need that. But like and they were even missing Russia. Like Russia would be incredible to have in there. I mean, as soon as they stop bombing people, then maybe they can rejoin. The Four Nations face-off. But look, I mean, Russia was the team. They were the juggernaut. They were the best team in the world forever. And then kind of Canada took over. But still, I'd love to have them in there, just make for better competition. But look, you have the Finns, the Swedes, and they're really good teams that can compete. So basketball doesn't have that. They just don't. I mean, I looked last night because I was like, I wonder, if Yugoslavia was still together. And I mentioned this during the show, like what kind of team Yugoslavia would have. And it'd start with Joker and Doncic. I go, well, that's a pretty good team. Like, that's a pretty nice team you could have there. But it's not. It's the Serbs and Doncic, Slovenia. So you don't have enough great players from a country that could make it different than the Olympics. And if it's not going to be different than from the Olympics, then why bother? So I don't know. There is a fix. I think the fix is care a little bit more. In the 80s, 80s and 90s. And I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody, oh, it was great. 80s and 90s, they played it like a playoff game. They didn't. And I've always said this. Play it like you're at the park and the loser leaves the court. That's the type of intensity I'd like to see you play with. If you're not going to play with that type of intensity, then why do we even have – let's just play flag football. Let's play flag basketball. Let's just get into that. The problem is – I mean, look, there's so many ways to go with this, but the problem is the Pro Bowl isn't a marquee weekend for football.
No.
It's just the Pro Bowl.
No. Yeah.
Super Bowl is the marquee weekend.
Right.
NBA All-Star Game is a marquee weekend for basketball. That is supposed to be a marquee weekend where the best get together. They play the All-Star Game, the three-point shoot, the dunk, all that kind of stuff. But the guys don't care. And if the guys don't care that much, then there's really nothing you can do to fix it. They even cared a little bit more this past All-Star Game, but it was a rinky-dink tournament that nobody knew. You know, they'd play a game, then they'd go to a freaking concert. Then they'd go to a game, and T would come back and pat themselves on the back for 30 minutes, telling them how great they were for the last night. Like, it's like, well, what are we doing here? Are we just going to play? Are we not playing? I mean, are we splicing the entertainment with the basketball? So I don't know that there's a great answer for it. I do know this, that as much money those guys are making, this is a marquee weekend for the NBA, that they may feel like, hey, this is good for our sport if we actually play hard. It sells our sport a little bit more. Because Adam Silver's been trying, he knows the marquee weekend. He's trying to get them to play harder. He's trying to get them to care a little bit more. But they don't. And he can't make them care. Either you have to, or you try to convince them that, hey, this is not only good for us, it's good for you too. And they've had Hall of Famers say, you know what, you got to play a little harder. You got to, nothing's worked. So I don't know. This format wasn't it though. It just wasn't.
No. Tom, you know what sucks too is that like players like the Jordan era, they loved. It seemed like they genuinely loved doing the dunk contest, and really, like you said, cared. Now it seems like it's such a, and it's not. I don't want to say Mac McClung's a throwaway because he's a good dunker, sure, but think about all the talent in the NBA, and I used to look forward to the dunk contest every year in that era, and now it's like, oh man, it's when you know it's not all the studs in the NBA. I just wonder why they don't care about the dunk contest anymore either, because that seemed like it was a ton of fun.
It's a good question. Yeah.
Oh, Dominique Jordan.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. And we've gone from that to Max McClung.
Right.
And Max McClung has been better than a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
A lot of them, like I'd rather have Max McClung than NBA bench players that aren't even great dunkers, that are, maybe good dunkers, but are okay. But that's not even the point. The point is what we really want to see is guys like Vince Carter.
Yeah, dude,
guys
exactly.
Who are studs that can dunk.
Yep.
Who would not sign up for a dunk contest featuring Ja Morant?
Oh, bro,
Right.
that's what we want. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
like give us Ja Morant in a damn dunk contest, and like people will be like, "Oh, okay, I'm in for that."
Yeah.
Like even and they weren't stars, but at least they were like recognizable. Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
That was
great dunk competition.
Yep.
Yep. But that was like, okay, we got at least some name players that are willing to go out there and do some incredible dunks.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a really good one. But really, with Dominique and Jordan, you're going back to two of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone wants. And that's where you get a chance to sell your sport, right? That's why, go back to the All-Star game that was here at then AT&T. It was like, how hard would it have been for Barry Bonds to go out there and compete in a home run derby? And that sells the game. He just didn't care. Because guys care more about the parties now, All-Star weekends and stuff. They just want to go to the parties. And the NBA and baseball probably need to cut back on asking them to do all the corporate stuff they have to do and say, look, we're not going to ask you to do as much.
Right.
But meet us halfway.
Like in exchange,
sell our sport a little bit if you can. Like people know who you are. So I just want to see name guys that can dunk like a John Morant, get out there and do some stuff. But again,
it'd be epic.
If you're not going to care that much, then whatever. It's why I don't really pay attention to it. It's on.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I need to closely pay attention to it. It's like, whatever.
100%. We're the same way over here now. And it's the same thing. The Levine Gordon one you mentioned, Tom, that to me, that was like the last great one. I remember watching that with my son. We were both excited. And every year it's kind of cooled down a little bit. A couple more questions for Tom, and then we'll let him get out of here today. Tom, for us here in the Bay Area, we're up close and personal with Andre Iguodala. We got to watch him play. We got to watch him win his titles, get that MVP in the finals. But for people outside the Bay Area, I think they're looking at his stats and they're going, wait a sec. So this guy, yes, he won a bunch of rings. Yes, he was a great defensive player. Yeah, he got that finals MVP, but his numbers are not indicative of a guy who would normally have his jersey in the rafters. So how would you explain that, Tom, just in a basketball sense, to people beyond the Bay Area who don't really understand why that jersey went up yesterday?
I'll tell them to shut up.
Nice.
Nice. All right.
No, I tell them that, and I touched on it during the podcast, is that it was a seminal moment in Warrior history when he came here, because players of his stature did not want to come here before that, right? They wanted to go elsewhere. They came here for more money, or no one else wanted them, and they came to play for the Warriors. But he saw what was going on with Clay and Steph, and thought, okay, I want to be a part of that, and this team could go places. And he was an integral part of that. Was he, like, Steph was the most important piece when they drafted him, but trading for Bogut was a huge piece. Getting Andre Andre wanting to come here and being able to figure that trade out was a huge piece of it. And, he averaged, I think 9.3 points per game was the most he averaged in any 1 year with the Warriors.
Right.
He never averaged double digits, ever.
Wow.
Which is incredible to think.
That's crazy.
You look at some of the numbers of the guys who do have their numbers retired for the Warriors.
Right.
Rick Barry, Mully, Sherry. Al, I think, is up there. But you look at those guys, and Al, I think Al's up there for the championship and being basically Mr. Warrior. But Masheri averaged definitely more than 10. But you're thinking, how does a guy get his number retired? Like, I bet you if you went around the league and saw all the numbers that were retired, I bet you 95%, if not 99% of those guys averaged 10 points at least 1 year.
At least.
Yeah. Right?
Totally.
At least 1 year.
Yeah.
He didn't. But he meant so much to that team in terms of what he did defensively, what he did offensively. And you have to – I kind of hate saying this because I make it sound like, even though I do know more basketball than most people that are going to be listening to me or watching me, but it sounds like an arrogant look. You don't know what you're looking at. I know what I'm looking at. There are instances where you got to pay close attention to find the value in some of these players.
Nice.
And it's what they do off the ball. It's what they do as leaders on the bench. It's what they do defensively when they're not guarding the ball, even though he usually guarded the best wing player. He was just a step or two ahead of the game, like Draymond, and he tied a lot of that stuff together. With Steph and Clay, who have been known to do some crazy stuff on a basketball court, like, some of the passes and some of the shots where you're just like, oh, my God, what are these guys doing? And look, a lot more times than not it worked out, but a lot of times it didn't. And Andre was the guy to calm everything down. Steve always said he was the adult in the room. He could organize everything and get everything set up and just, okay, look, let's everybody take a deep breath here. Let's get back to playing the right way, the way we know how to play. And it's so funny because his numbers do not suggest he deserves a number up in the rafters at Chase Center. But when I think of Andre, I thought to myself, there's no doubt he's going to be in the rafters at Chase Center. And this is before I looked up the numbers and saw the numbers. I just go, he's going to be there because of how important he was to the team. It's not all numbers. Right. I know it's easy to look at and it's easy for sports fans to digest, but there's so much more to the games in all sports than the numbers tell you. And Andre was like one of the more perfect examples of your importance not being tied to those numbers.
Well
Hey
said.
Tom, I'm not saying that it's easy to replicate what Iguodala did for the Dubs, but is there anybody on this year's squad that comes close to adding that type of vibe to the team?
Good question.
Well, I think I mentioned this, but I think Butler plays somewhat similar. Like, here's what Jimmy has in common with Andre. Like, Jimmy's a much better offensive player than Andre. Like, Jimmy's just like better in terms of the numbers. Like, he's going to get you more raw numbers. But Butler also understands the game. Like, he thinks the game. He's ahead of the game. Like, he gets how to play basketball. It's a term I use frequently, and every time I use it, I always have to explain it, because when I say someone knows how to play basketball, people always say, well, doesn't everybody know how to play basketball? I go, yeah, I mean, they do, obviously, because they're in the NBA. But what I mean by knowing how to play basketball is if things get disorganized, if the play doesn't work the way you want it to work, or if somebody's out of place defensively, you know how to make it work. Yeah. You still can make it work because you instinctively understand the game. You just, okay, I get this. It'd be like, you know what, to use a football analogy, if you're supposed to run like a slant route, and you're supposed to get to like 8 yards, cut in, and you're supposed to be open after 5 yards, but you realize after 5 yards, a linebacker is going to be sitting there. So let me stop in the hole here because this is where the open spot is. Like, you just kind of feel stuff like, okay, this is where I need to be. Right. Basketball, same way. Like basketball, I should be here, but that's not the way the play is going. I need to be here, or I need to cut to make sure this guy can get there, or defensively, he's not in the right spot, so I need to cover for him and let him know as I'm doing it, hey, drop down, do this, do that. Like, he gets all that stuff. Nice. He just understands like how I make it work, even though it's not supposed to work this way. It got screwed up, but we're going to make it work this way. He understands that. Like, he gets those things. So I would say Andre was a master at those things, but Jimmy gets those things too, which is great for the Warriors because they need everybody needs more players like that. I know Steve likes more sane basketball players on the court that don't turn the ball over and can just play the game like the right way. Right. And I know he thinks Butler can do that. So it's going to be interesting to see, in 2 weeks what they look like. They got a lot of road games coming up, but so far so good.
How high do you think they can elevate? Sorry, Paulie. How high do you think they can go in the standings, Tom? I'm
thinking it's 6, maybe.
Nice.
Maybe 5.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, you know what? Things are going to have to break their way. They're going to have to stay healthy. I mean, you're going to get Kuminga back here pretty soon. So, but, I think Jimmy Butler brings a certain something to the team that they just didn't have.
Yeah.
And the one problem is they have all the tiebreakers against the teams that aren't going to matter. They have the tiebreaker against the Thunder, ain't going to matter.
That's
tiebreaker
true.
Tiebreaker against Memphis, ain't going to matter.
Yeah.
Tiebreaker against Houston, ain't going to matter. The only team they have the tiebreaker against that it might matter is Minnesota. Because as of right now, Phoenix, who they're ahead of, they've lost a tiebreaker too. I think they might be tied with Sacramento, but I think like some third tiebreaker, they might lose that one. The Lakers, they've lost that one. The Clippers, they've lost that one. I'm not sure where the Nuggets are. The Mavericks are 2-2 now, and I'm not sure where the third tiebreaker on that one is. But, look, I don't even worry about that type of stuff. Just continue to get better, continue to play good ball, and see where it takes you. Like, I think they can beat some teams, but look, it's going to be tough. They dug themselves a little bit of a hole early on, but they're playing good ball right now, and that's all that matters.
No, big time. And I'd say last thing for Tom today, I want to remind everybody watching this, check out Tom's brand new show, the Tom Tolbert Show. You can check it out on YouTube on a daily basis. We're all really happy to have Tom back on the mic. There was a big hole in the Bay Area, and Tom is back. So that's
no question.
News. But Tom, so last thing on this whole Butler thing, I feel like, especially yesterday, Tom, watching that game, I felt like it was the first time for me in a while where I felt like I could see the swagger kind of come back, and there was some joy out there, especially when Quentin Post had that big slam in the fourth quarter, and he was he was screaming, Draymond was screaming, and then like Steph Curry was on the kind of outside of that, but he was pointing at post and laughing, and I'm like, damn, that kind of joy and swagger on the court, I feel like has been missing from the Dubs for a while now. So that's just a great element to see back on the floor. And all the stuff being considered, we just talked about, Tom, like, what do you think a realistic kind of run would be for this team? Because Draymond said championship during the All-Star break, and I like that he did that. Like, let the young guys hear that. But realistically, Tom, like, how far do you think this team potentially could go this year?
You know, I don't know. They could lose in the first round. They could lose in a play-in.
Yeah.
I don't think they're championship worthy. But who knows? I mean, you know, it's hard to go against Steph and Draymond. And look, I would expect Draymond to say something like that. And guarantees, I just never paid any attention to guarantees because what's going to happen is we're going to watch it unfold, right? Yep. It's not a prediction. It's not like, hey, who's better, LeBron or Michael, or who's better, Joe or Brady, or who's better. It's like things you can argue about, but you can't possibly get to a resolution. It's impossible. And guess what? We are going to get a resolution here. We're going to find out whether they win a championship or not. And I would submit that everybody who's on a team that could get to the playoffs, they should think their team has a chance to win a championship. Because if not, what are you doing? Like, why are you going to go into a playoff series going, we can't win this one? Maybe we can win a series, but we can't win the second one. Well, nobody's thinking that way.
Yeah.
I mean, from the outside, we can all look at it that way. But if you're on a team, and especially on a team that's won multiple championships, like he knows what it's like to win. He knows what it takes to win. So, yeah, I would expect that he would believe they could do it. Do I believe they can do it? No, not yet. I mean, I could change my mind in 2 weeks. But here's the beauty. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what Draymond thinks. It's all going to unfold.
Yeah.
We have the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to find out whether they're going to win a championship or not. I think a lot would have to go right for them.
Yeah.
I think the matchups would be interesting because, like I've said, they're going to struggle against the more athletic teams, the longer teams, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, the Thunder. But I mean, look, everybody struggles against the Thunder. Thunder is a damn good basketball team. So, but I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I think the Western Conference is going to be, you know, just wild. I can't wait to see how the Lakers are going to do with Luka. Let's see when AD and the rest of the centers come back for Dallas. Let's see how they do. I'm still not counting out Denver, although, you know, the Lakers whipped their ass pretty good this past weekend.
They did.
So we'll see. I don't know if Denver has enough of a bench, but who knows? I mean, I think I said it on the show. To me right now, it's Thunder, Cavs, Celtics. And then after that, I don't know. Like, I don't foresee anybody else winning other than those three teams. Could change my mind come playoff teams. Somebody could come up and go, you know, hey, well, they've won 13 in a row. They've been looking great. But as of now, those are the three teams I think have a chance to win a championship.
You know, hey, Tom, what's safe to say too, though, and I have a couple more quickies for you too, but what's safe to say too is that I think the Bay Area or the Dub Nation is way more excited since Butler has come to the team. And I personally, I'm very excited for the home stretch and then to see what they can do in the playoffs. Way more excited than I was pre-Butler. So I'm so glad they made that move. And I was worried about him fitting in. I really was. And so far so good. I mean, you know, it's only been 6 games, but like I'm still excited to see way more than before. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Warriors just wanted to see. Warrior fans wanted to see the Warriors do something.
Yeah,
you know, give us some optimism, give us some hope. And I mean, look, I've always liked Jimmy Butler's game, but let's not forget, like he got his way out of Miami, he got his way out of Minnesota, he got his way out of Chicago. So it's not like he's parted amicably with any of these organizations. Like he's basically see, I'm out of here. And when Jimmy wants out, that's when things go sour. I wouldn't expect it to happen right away. But, I mean, it could happen next year, year after. Who knows? But as of now, look, he's happy, and I think the Warriors are looking at this like, okay, we got a couple more years.
Yep.
Steph's contract will be up. Steve's contract will be up.
Yeah.
Draymond's contract will be up.
Yep.
And Butler's contract's going to be up. And like, okay, let's just give it a shot and give it everything we have and not blow up the future, which they really didn't do.
Right.
In essence, it was, Wiggins for Butler. Kuminga was a guy you kept. Moody, you kept. Moody's been playing great. Moody's been really good for them lately. So, you give up Schroeder, a guy you had for like 30 games, and you give up Wiggins, who, look, you wouldn't have won a championship in 2022 without Wiggins, but Butler's better than Wiggins. He's better. So, you roll the dice, like hey, let's go. Yeah. While we got Steph, let's give ourselves a shot. And this isn't just about this year. This is about next year too, even though Butler, Draymond, and Steph will all be a year older. I guess I suppose we're all going to be a year older.
That'd be all of us. Yeah, man.
It's not exclusive to them. No. They're just the ones that it's more important for the Warriors' future. Like, how are they going to play next year? Those are the guys. So, but I like it. You have a generational player.
Yeah.
Let's try to give him and the Warriors the best shot to win a championship while Steph's still viable.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Tommy.
Tom.
I just want to tip the cap to, and I think you mentioned him during your show today, Randy Bennett and the Gales.
Yes.
Yeah. And talk some WCC hoops, because I went to St. Mary's and USF, so I root for both, but I love what Bennett's done. Obviously, I know you guys are buds, and he used to come on with Ralph and Tom all the time. And I love that he's stayed in Moraga.
Yep.
I'm sure he's gotten offer after offer after offer to leave, but he's built something special there in Moraga. And the fact that he's done, I love it so much. And then I love seeing the Dons doing well too.
Me too. Great.
And those three teams, Dons, Gales, and Gonzaga, and the Dons have the tilt Saturday against Gonzaga.
Chase Center.
That's right. And I just wondered, who do you think of those three? St. Mary's, would you say, is the top of those three, or do you still think to Gonzaga?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you got to say St. Mary's. They beat them twice.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They're going to win their second WCC title.
Love it.
Like I think Gonzaga is good this year, but not really that vintage Gonzaga team. They're just not. They don't have the horses that they once had. I mean, you're talking about a team that has had Suggs was a top 5 pick, and I'm blanking on his name. I don't know why I can't think of his name. The center for the Thunder.
Holmgren. Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, Holmgren, who just came back. He was the number 2 overall pick. Yeah. So I mean, they had horses for a good stretch, and I'm not even sure. Boy, if they have an NBA guy, I'm not sure their center. I'm not sure if he's an NBA guy.
Right.
Nemhard, the transfer, I think he came from Creighton. He's the other Nemhard's brother that came over and played. I don't know if he's an NBA guy, Ajayi. I don't know if they just don't have the same type of guys that they've had before. They're still really good, and Few's a really good coach. But yeah, Bennett has the consistency, and I love the fact that my former teammate Sharunas' son is playing for Randy, the point guard, Marshall.
Yeah, man. Is Sharunas in town? Does he live in the Bay? Do they live in the Bay?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe he does.
Yeah.
I know he visited Raleigh not too long ago, but I'm trying to think of the guys' names. I'm looking them up right now, but they lost 2 guys last year. St. Mary's. They lost. Jefferson,
they got the guy who transferred to
State.
Yeah,
and then they lost a guy that went to UConn.
To UConn, the local kid from he's from the area. Why am I blanking? I'm blanking on his name too.
I know. I'm trying to look up a UConn game right now to see if I can figure out. I think
Mahaney.
Thank you. Yeah, and he was really good here. And I thought, God, he's going to UConn. I know he got. From what I heard, he got a decent amount of money to go to UConn. But here's what Mahaney is doing with UConn. He is averaging 12.8 minutes a game, 4.6 points, 1.4 assists, and 0.8 rebounds. So, to me, sometimes you got to say, I may be getting more money someplace, but I'm going to grow as a player someplace else. I think Jefferson's actually having a nice year for Iowa State. He's playing well for them. So obviously, he made the right move. And I'm not saying Mahaney didn't for him. Maybe he did, but you could just see him getting swallowed up by UConn, and that's what happened. He'd still be a guy here.
Oh, he'd be a stud here.
But that's the beautiful thing about the program that Randy Bennett's built. It started off as just kind of like, okay, Patty Mills, Dellavedova, Sam Han, they had McConnell there. And it was just, God, are they going to be able to, those are like 2 NBA guards that he had. Are they going to be able to survive after they leave?
Right.
And it has. Every year, whether they have NBA guys or not, he just continues on.
He creates that scenario.
And it's even harder now with the NIL because, they have an NIL, but it's not like, they can compete. Obviously, they're not going to compete with UConn. If UConn wants to come snatch one of their players, then they're going to grab one of their players. But, I mean, I just love watching them play. The big fella Saxon in the middle.
Yeah.
And Marshallonis out there. And, I mean, I can picture some of their players. I can't think of their names, all of them, but they're just fun. They're a team. They're a program. And the fact that, as you stated, Randy has stayed, I think he looks at it as quality of life. Like, hey, you know what? They've taken care of me here.
Yeah.
He probably really likes the AD, chancellor, president, whatever. They probably have the same vision for the team. They probably allow him a certain amount of freedom to do what he's doing. He probably loves the area he lives here in the Bay. And sometimes instead of taking that stepping stone to say, you know what, I really got to challenge myself here, or I want to make more money, or I want to play in a bigger conference, you just say, you know what, I like it here. I make enough money. I have a great program. I like the friends I have. I like the area I have. I'm going to stay here. Yeah. I've always appreciated that about Randy, and I've always rooted for him outside of Arizona, my favorite team in college basketball. So I was pumped. I sent him a text. It may have been explicit or not. I'm not sure. But I sent him a text after they beat Gonzaga on Friday or on Saturday night. I was pumped up for him.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's a great time for WCC Hoop T. Yeah.
This is a totally insider thing, but Randy Bennett has always reminded me of our former program director, Bob Agnew, physically.
Bob Agnew.
They look like each other. I feel like they look
Bob
like
Agnew yelling at Ralph.
Dude. Bob Agnew yelling at everybody. Yeah,
Tom,
since you're a hockey fan too, you know who my call on Agnew was? The guy that always reminded me of Bob Agnew was Scotty Bowman. Remember Scotty Bowman?
The Red Wings, yeah.
Almost a similar kind of look too. Fiery little fire plug kind of thing.
Fiery, had the thinning hair that was slicked back, the thinning hair. Yeah,
the three strands. The three strands.
Good look from Bob.
Tom, you brought up Ralph. We were talking about this earlier today because Murph joined us earlier today. And I was talking about how trying to get Ralph to go to break was one of the greater challenges of my career in radio.
Hey.
And you sat alongside him and you tried to get him to break. And then it was like he just went and
nothing doing.
Went.
Yeah.
It's like trying to get Lou to not bark.
Right.
Yeah. Nice. It ain't going to happen. Yeah,
which she repeatedly did. I'm going to try to make her part of the show, but if she can't behave herself a little bit, then I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Well, listen, we just want
in here.
Tom,
I got to find. Yeah, I got one final thing for Tom. Tom, are you going to the Dominican Republic to see Tool for 3 nights with Primus?
Dude, somebody hit me up on Twitter, and they said, "Are you going to see Tool in the sand?" Yeah. I guess they're playing on a beach somewhere.
That's it.
And wow, they're playing Primus. How about that? That's crazy. Right. Yeah, and I said, no, I'm not going to the DR to go see Tool. But that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sweet to be on the beach in the sand seeing Tool.
Yeah.
If I was going to pay copious amounts of money to go see a concert, that would probably be it.
Yeah,
that would be it. A nice, probably down there, Pacifico. On the sand, seeing a little prison sex, and that's one of their songs, by the way. Okay,
I got you, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Tom, isn't Lori part of the Kiss Army?
Yeah, she was. I think she was. She joined the Kiss Army when she was younger, not knowing exactly what the Kiss Army entailed, and
love it.
I think it was at an age where she didn't know what Love Gun was.
Yeah.
So, and look, I was I was at the same age. I didn't know. I had no idea.
No.
How disturbing Christine 16 was until I read the lyrics.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, Gene.
I know, don't.
Geez, really? 16?
As
young and
lecherous as it
clean?
gets.
Like, come on, Gene. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous.
He's
I know it's the 70s, but still, I mean, there are boundaries here.
Dude, the lyric is like, when I saw you coming out of school that day.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, Gene, whoa, baby, whoa.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I know a lot's changed, but still. I mean, even in the 70s, you shouldn't have 40-year-olds waiting outside of school for a 15, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. We don't condone it.
know.
We don't condone it on this show or Tom's show. And by the way, that's why we're doing this. Tom Tolbert is back, everybody. Want to thank you for your time today, Tom. Great chat with you, buddy. And everybody check out the Tom Tolbert show. You'll see it on a daily basis, and you're going to learn this, Tom, over time. It's like the beauty of this format on YouTube is people consume the show whenever they want. Like you might post a show at noon, and then you'll see those numbers really spike later in the afternoon because people pull it down and listen on their commute and stuff. So it's great, man. And I'll say good luck. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be talking as we go down the road together. But for now, Tom, just great to see you, brother. And good luck with everything, man. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, Tom. Thank you,
boys.
man.
Can't wait. Yeah, Tony.
Hey, Tom.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Tell Tim Roy and RC Davis hello for us too, huh?
I always do. I go every time I do a show. I go, Tony says hi.
Those guys are the best.
They're the best, man. I love working.
Love
working with them. It's just so much fun doing games. So I would definitely say that you said hi.
Yeah, they're the best, man. Thanks, Tom.
See you later,
boys.
Tommy.
Have a good one.
You too, brother. Tom Tolbert, everybody, right here on Polymax Particles. Great talking to Tom. So happy his show is back. Creative Tony, I think we've given all that we can give today. We're serving up hot. And I got to tell you, just between you and me, great to see you in here, Tom. Just great to see you in here.
I could go another hour with Tom.
I know. Bro, I almost, if I had like a cattle prod, I would have zapped your ass a few times there because I was trying to let Tom go for like 15 minutes. You're like, oh, Tom, one more thing. Oh, Tom, one more thing. Oh, Tom, one more thing. I was like, dude,
I did work with Tom for a long time, so I know when he's uncomfortable or when he's not, or when he's comfortable. And he was very comfortable and just chilling. So this is the best.
All due respect. All due respect to Creative T and Tommy T. Those are the T brothers over there. But no, I know. But still, I kept saying like, because tell the audience what we said before we went live with Tom. We're like, hey, Tom, we'll do like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe tops. Now we're like dipping around 40. And Tony's like, oh, yeah, one more thing. Are you going to Tool? I'm like, dude, he's never going to come back. He's never going to come back. But anyway, no, kidding aside, dude, it was great to see you, Tom. Last thing, just like hearing Tom talk basketball might be my favorite thing.
Oh, dude.
Because when he started talking about Butler and like dropping on assignment and like moving positions and while you're switching, telling the other guy, hey, you got to drop back because I'm here in LA. All that kind of X's and O stuff. Tom's feel for the game. It's great. And I'm so glad we have that back, T. So, yeah.
You can't get that kind of analysis anywhere. I mean, it's when you've played the game as long as he sees that kind of stuff. Like I don't see that kind of stuff. And he's talking about like being like anticipating certain
ahead of the game. Yeah, like being ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing it unfold before it unfolds. And
like Draymond.
Wild. Yeah.
And now that the Warriors, and because he was singing the praises of Jimmy Butler having such a great basketball IQ, which he does. Yeah. But Tony, now, dude, think about the thinkers on this team. Shout out to Rodin's The Thinker, Tony. Can I drop a pose? Yeah. You know what I mean? The Thinker.
Nice, dude.
But
nice.
Yeah, shout out Rodin, my favorite sculptor, maybe the only sculptor I know. So I'll throw it out
That's
there.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, as far as I go. Tony.
Well, if we're going to talk sculptors, we have to maybe review Patrick Swayze and Ghost. I mean, down the road. I mean,
that right there is exactly why I want to work with you. That's, in fact, on that note, there's nowhere else to go.
Okay.
And you're right. Don't sleep on Swayze's pottery, dude. Don't sleep on it. Not only, dude, he's sculpting, he's making out with Demi Moore. You know what?
Right.
He had all the answers. God bless you. Patrick Swayze, I hope you're doing great up there in heaven. Say what's up to Bill Walton and Jerry Garcia for me. They're a couple of good guys you can hang with if you're looking for some new crew up there. God, that was a great time today, Tony. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see all of y'all. Tony, I'm going to go ahead and say tomorrow night because it'll be night flight time.
Tomorrow night.
Take to the skies and we'll do a little night flighting. And Jimmy Dillon joins us. We're going to talk about my gig. It's not my gig. It's his gig at Sweetwater. I'll simply be stopping by and sitting in. Think we're going to give away a pair of tickets. Working on that as well.
That'd be great.
Creative Tony, final thoughts. Yes.
we got Dubs tonight. Dubs Charlotte. So sit back, relax, watch some Dubs Hornets, and then we'll be back Wednesday night flight. Super pumped to review some more Dubs Butler. The Butler era continues, P.
Hey, Tony, can I break your balls real quick on the way out?
Yes, break them.
Okay, so before we go, and if you want to sound the outro music, it's totally up to you. Class dismissed. It's entirely in your hands. But as you're getting those elements ready, I just wanted to make sure, do you have any final questions for Tom Tolbert before we go?
Just a couple more quickies, Tom.
Exactly. Hey, Tom, a couple more things. I know you've just been on the air for 5 hours. Let me ask you 10 more things.
Not 5 hours. He was on the air for
I know.
And by the way, we didn't keep him as long as John Lund kept him. Lund was pushing over an hour.
Dude, you want to know who's keeping? You want to go on someone's show? Is he going to be keeping you? Don't make any fucking plans the whole night. Shout out Larry Krueger. Bro, totally. Krueger drops anchor. You ain't going nowhere, dude. It's like a Patty Hearst hostage situation. You ain't going nowhere. Larry, I'm kidding. I freaking love you, dude. I love Larry.
Of course, we love Larry.
Are we dismissing or are we just bailing out today?
I'm going to dismiss the class right now.
Class dismissed. Damn it, I love that, T. I freaking love that. Does that have an effect on you? That like fires me up every time I hear that. Class dismissed.
It's the only way it's supposed to be dismissed.
What do you think the teacher's gonna look like this year?
I would say it's the greatest rock video ever made, personally, in my opinion.
Sit down, Waldo. You know what I mean?
Sit down, Waldo. And dude, the cinematography of Eddie Van Halen walking on the library table that never ends during the guitar solo.
Tony's on fire, dude. No, I don't think I want the show to end. You're giving me your best stuff right now. You're coming at me with Waldo takes. Eddie Van Halen walking on the tables, riffing. I know exactly what you're talking about. And he's peeling off leaves like a lunatic, dude, while he's walking. It's
outrageous. But how about the kids are in the car, the kid versions of Van Halen in the convertible? I mean, it's incredible.
I remember this. Last thing, final thought of the day, true story. I'm gonna quote the great creative Tony Ryan on the way out, because I remember the first time you saw Van Halen. I had seen him back in the day. So I had one show under my belt. You had seen Dave and Van Halen for the first time. And when they played Hot for Teacher, when that song ended, I'll never forget this. You looked at me and you're like, Paulie, that's one of the heaviest things I've ever seen. Yeah. And I was like, no, I know. Because Van Halen, they weren't messing around, dude, when they hit the stage. They were not messing around. And that music was fast and furious, man.
It was outrageous. I mean, there's no way to it pummeled me. It literally pummeled me.
Creative Tony, someday, I really believe this, and I talked to Rod Brooks about this because he loves Eddie Van Halen too. Someday, people are going to say to you, if I'm not even kidding, people are going to talk to you, and it will be like me talking to somebody who's seen Jimi Hendrix. They're going to be like, wow, dude, you saw Eddie Van Halen play?
Totally.
And we're lucky. No, we're lucky. We saw one of the greatest guitar players to ever walk the planet. We got to see him do his thing, so we are lucky.
No question, man. I owe that to you, dude, because you led the charge on that, and I was like, yes, sure, tell me where to be, and I'll be there.
Oh, I already told Tony, look, there's in some cases, I'm like, Tony, you got no fucking say in this, dude. This is a show you're going to. I'm just letting you know. Don't make any plans on April 3rd because we're going to the show. Like, I did that to him last week. I said, Tony, because Tony texted me, he's like, Paulie, Stephen Piercy and Warren D. Cromartie. Those are the boys from Rat and Roll, y'all.
You said D. Cromartie, by the way, D. Martini, but you said D. Cromartie. That's awesome. That's the former baseball player, dude.
Shout out Montreal Expos ball. Yeah. Montreal Expos ball. I'll go D. Cromartie if I have to. I don't know where. Well, again, it's the brain damage. I did it to myself. Don't try this at home. But D. Martini. So Tony goes, yeah, they just added more tour dates. And I said, well, listen, here's the situation. I don't care where the gig is in California. It could be at Indio. It could be in Folsom. It can be in Stockton. I just don't care. Tony, you're coming to the gig with me. Yes. And so anyway, that's going to happen again soon. I think we should probably go, Stacy. We've been rapping for like 10 minutes. Okay. Totally. Tony, much love. We'll see you tomorrow night on Night Flight, and happy particles to all of y'all.
Peace.